A very good morning, 10th graders. I hope you all are good at home. In today's session, we are continuing with the next chapter, chapter 2, in continuation with the previous topic. So, chapter 2 is related to the internet and web services. Today, we are going to start from page number 57. So, first topic for today's class it is e-learning. E-learning is the concept of digital system. E stands for electronic. Learning mean to say information that is provided by electronic medium. So e-learning is the tool to provide the information, to provide some data, to provide some notes in the form of learning that will provide some advanced ideas, and that is fully dependent upon electronic mode, that is dependent upon digital system, that is fully dependent upon internet based services. So e-learning will provide the functionality to learn new concepts, new ideas by different types of websites related to the education, related to research, related to business. Any type of learning we can include in the concept of e-learning. So e-learning has some features. First feature of e-learning, non-linear. Non-linear mean to say it is not restricted. Linear mean to say fixed. The concept of e-learning is not fixed. It is not fixed for a specific topic, specific area. In every field, e-learning concept will provide the new information, new ideas, new technological system. Dynamic process, and the major advantage of e-learning is that according to the changes in the concept, we can change our idea. So it is not a static approach, it is a dynamic approach. That's why it is changing according to the different conditions or different values. Suppose first I am searching for a computer network, it will provide computer network options. I am searching again data structure, so it will automatically change the topic and provide the another information. That's why it is known as dynamic process. Learner control, and everything is in the hand of learner who is trying to learn. Only that person will give the command to find out the specific idea or information. Automatically nothing will be provided. Whatsoever we want to search, everything is controlled by the learner or the user of the specific website. Reusable objects. The major benefit, one time you find the specific idea or information, you can reuse it again and again. It is not a one time activity, it is not a one time information or process. We can use it again and again by developing the idea, by providing a similar type of notes. We can save the link. Informal, and it is a informal medium, it is not a formal way. It means you have to follow all the steps, you have to follow all the specific format. So it is not related to the specific sequence. We can directly or indirectly open any web page or website. We are not restricted to open the sequence of steps. Encourage, next is platform independent. There is no boundary, no limit for a platform. Either you are using Windows, either you are using Linux, either you are using any other operating system, Android, Mac, whatsoever you are using, everywhere it is useful. So these are some specific features of e-learning. The major advantages of e-learning are recalling of information. We can remind the information again and again. It is not a one-time activity. That's why it will help to recall the information again and again whenever it is required. Encourage self-learning. It provides the functionality to encourage the learner and become a self-dependent. It means a learner will be able to learn on the self basis. It creates the encouragement. Convenient method, it is not an inconvenient way, convenient way. User can easily use the concept, user can easily understand the concept. Reduce the traveling time and expenses. The major point, you need not to move inside, outside any specific location, any specific city, any specific lab. You can sit anywhere and you can find the information on internet within few seconds. So it is a time saving method also. It will reduce the traveling time also, expenses also. Provide hyperlinks. It will provide a number of links. It is not restricted to one or two option. Every type of information is available within a bulk. Bulk means to say a huge amount of information is available if we don't like one information, we can use the another one. If we don't like, then we can use the third one. So it provides a number of hyperlinks. We can open any link, we will be able to find out the good link. Selection of material, we can easily select the material, which one is good or which one is bad, which one is useful, which one is unuseful. Task completion on time, if you are working on a time bound activity, you can complete your task within a restricted time boundation. It means there is no delay. If you are taking the help of internet services, you will get a huge number of information. Internet knowledge, you will get to know how to operate with internet services and which services are new and which are under process. And you will be capable to take the responsibility for a specific task. You can become the self-dependent. So you are the unstable person. You will get the confidence to do your work on right time. Some disadvantages are also there. Unmotivated learner. Sometimes it happens, some people are working for money only and they are not motivated by the specific concept. It means some learner are trying to use the concept, but they are not fully motivated. They don't believe it is good or bad. This is the unmotivational matter. Lack of familiar structure. Sometimes we are not able to find out the proper information. We are searching so many websites, but we are not able to type the specific keyword, what to search, how to search, which search engine is good or bad. Isolation, it is very typical to use. Lack of infrastructure. Sometimes we are not able to create the structure of data. In which sequence we want to create the information, that we are not able to create due to some technical problems. And the major thing behind that is connectivity of internet. Unreliable internet connection. The point came, due to the decrease in speed, due to the fluctuation in the speed of internet, we are not able to properly use the services of e-learning. Managing learning software, and sometimes we are not able to manage the activities of learning software. Like we want to learn the full concept of data structure, but we are not able to make the sequence of topics, which topic will be dependent upon the other. This is also the major problem. And difficult to simulate. There is very difficulty to simulate the specific information, and hard for instructor. Sometimes it is become typical for instruction to understand the concept either than telling the physical classes. It means online mode sometimes is complicated to understand the students. So it is hard for instructor also. And time consuming activity, first we need to prepare the notes, then we need to present, then we need to upload, and afterward we have to update on regular basis. So it is a time consuming activity. These are the disadvantages. Now come to next point, that is e-banking. Everybody knows in today's environment 80% people are involved in the process of e-banking, because it is the medium that will provide a huge functionality. You can do online transaction, you can do advance payments, you can check your balance, you can transfer third party amount. A number of activities are performed with the help of e-banking process. So it is the easiest way to buying or selling a product and paying 24/7. There is no time restriction, no any day restriction, there is no any holiday in between. So there are some advantages of e-banking. First one, it is a 24/7 service. There is no delay. Every time it is available. Either you are free at night, either you are free in morning. Anytime you can use the similar service by 7 days old. Some banking systems are also not charging for ATM fee. They are charging first, after they are doing reimburse. They are giving it back in your account as a cashback. So it is also the benefit. Without spending any money, you can take the advantage of banking system. Permitted transaction from home. It gives the permission to perform your transaction from home. You need not to move to bank again and again. You need not to go to a specific service provider. Directly you are the owner, you can control your account at your hand. And greater customer satisfaction. If customer will get the service every time, every day, on time, and without getting delay, so it is more customer satisfaction level. Lower transaction cost, and it provides a lower transaction cost, like till 3 to 5 transactions there is no additional cost. So it will provide the functionality to use more online banking system that will encourage the user to enter in the online mode. So transaction cost is very less and reduce load on banking system. Priorly, we need a huge number of employees in banking system because manual system was more. Now digital system is going on. Due to digital system, approximately 50% load has been transferred on online mode. So bank is not getting rush anytime. We can take the services of bank in online mode also, in offline mode also. So now bankers are free to provide service. They are not getting this much rush in the branches. Next is disadvantages. Along with so many advantages, there are some disadvantages. Server breakdown problem. This is the major problem. If server is breakdown, then there is no chance of performing any transaction. It can be either for 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. So this is the major problem. Due to server problem, we are not able to perform the transaction from a nearby ATM from our account. So this is the major concept. Second, unauthorized access of password. Sometimes a hacker or information stealing person will try to hack your information. Afterward, an unauthorized person will try to use your account and transfer the money as a fraud. So many duplicate messages are there. So many duplicated service providers are giving messages on routine basis. So many links are available. So this is a major disadvantage. If we are not using a network system in a protected way, it can harm your transaction also. It can be accessed by the unauthorized users also. Next is e-shopping. E-shopping, that is directly related to the concept of buying and selling of product. When a person is sitting at home finding out the product according to the product category, after selecting the product, the person is placing the order from home. It means any service that is provided to the customer without physical presence for buying or selling of product, that is the concept of e-shopping. E-shopping has some major advantages. It will ultimately save your time. It will save your fuel also. It will save your energy also. And you can compare the prices. Where price is less, you can take from there. 24/7 service and online tracking. You can track after how much time I'll get my product. You can track after every minute. It is the best service. You will get a specific ID. On that ID you will track the location where product is available. And some disadvantages are also there again. Sometimes shipping charges are very high. Suppose we are taking any item, 100 rupees item cost is there and 50 rupees is shipping charge. So it is huge costly. So shipping rates are higher sometimes. Waiting, sometimes we need to wait for a longer time for a product, like 10 to 15 days for providing the delivery of product. Lack of significant discount. We are searching for 20% discount on online items, but we are not able to find out. And in market we are getting 20% discount due to some different feature, due to different quality. So sometimes we are not able to find out the specific discount also. And refund policy problem. Sometimes we are not satisfied with product and we are giving the request for refunding of amount and they are charging as a processing fee. Many banking systems are there that are charging processing fee if we are sending back product again if you are not satisfied for the services. So these all concepts are under the concept of e-shopping. Now to perform the e-shopping, we have to use some account. So we can create our account, we can perform our services, and the best tool that we are using in current environment, that is Amazon or Flipkart. That services we are using in current time. So to use the service, how we can perform the transaction? First step, a user need to create the account. And to create the account, what you will do? First you will download the app. In that step, download the app. After downloading, you will sign up. In sign up, you will fill the information. You will do confirmation of account. Afterward, account is created. Now step 2, you will check the category of items. Check the item category. After checking the category of item, you will select the item. You will select the item which you want to place the order, and you will transfer the item in cart. After transfer the item in cart, now you have to check your address. You will check your address detail. delivery address detail is correct or not. After doing confirmation of your detail, it means you will do confirmation first. After confirmation of your detail, now you will switch to the payment mode. Now payment can be of two types. It can be COD, cash on delivery, and pay in cash by using debit card or by using credit card. So we will perform the transaction by providing the debit card or credit card details. After that, a confirmation message will come. Your product has been booked and you will get a particular time schedule. After confirmation, you will get a schedule. You will get your product on 48 hours, 72 hours, what's the company policy is there. So these specific steps are followed in case of e-shopping, when we are going to do shopping via using the online apps. Now next concept we will discuss, that is e-reservation. For e-reservation, everybody knows we need to use the website of railway, and railway website that is used by railway, that is IRCTC. We will go to the IRCTC site. Afterward, we can check the seat availability. We can check the fares. We can check the train status. Even though we can check the number of days in week service is available in a week for service. Either than that, you can compare the price of different trains and you can book your tickets by e-reservation method. Now for ticket booking, what you have to do? For ticket booking, first you will log in with your user ID and password, or directly you can use the concept of finding train number. You will enter the train number first, train number, train name, date of journey, then you will check the status of train. You will check the status, is there any seat availability in the specific train? If it is available, then you will check the fare, how much I have to pay. After confirmation of fare, you will check, I am getting all seats that I need, 2, 3, 4 seats, whatever I need. I am getting in that specific class, AC class, or I am getting in sleeper class, or I am getting in general class. You will get the confirmation of category. And finally, you will go to the payment mode. And for payment, you will provide the details of your account. Provide the account detail. And finally, you will get the confirmation message and print PDF. This is your final ticket process that is followed in case of e-reservation system. It means you can follow a number of services. You can add the passenger, you can check the availability, you can check the status, you can check the train availability, you can find the train, number of trains, number of days, you can continue to the banking services. So this is all about the process of e-reservation, the method of booking your tickets by using the online mode. So in today's topic we are continuing till this concept. Next time we will meet with the next video in which we will cover about the e-governance. That is good concept, and we will discuss about mobile technology, in which we will discuss about SMS, MMS, 3G and 4G technology. Till here you are getting any doubt, you can send your query on my WhatsApp number. It is 999 111 8890. You can send your query on this number. Thank you. Have a nice day.